good morning. Thank you so much for joining me for today's workout. I'm just gonna check my microphone. Yeah, all good. Today is a full body workout, just like I do every Wednesday or most Wednesdays. But today we're going to add some weights. So these are 3-pound weights, small set of hand weights. If you don't have any weights, you don't have to use weights. You can do all of the exercise with body weight resistance. And for the exercises that I am using weights, if you're not going to be using them, just have long fingers and just really work with your body's own resistance to still feel that burn and still activate those muscles during those moves. But I'll be reminding you to do that with or without weight. So let's go ahead and get right into it. We're going to start ourselves off in an all fours position. I'm just going to make a little adjustment here. And from our all fours position, we're going to plant our palms under our shoulders and our knees under our hips. From here, we're going to drop the belly, arching the spine, and then we're going to push the mat away, rounding the spine. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Inhale, roll the shoulders down and back. And exhale, push the mat away, separating the vertebra. Let's take a couple more of those. As you round, lower your head, stretch your neck at the same time. We've got 3 and 2, moving on the breath. And last 1, let's bring ourselves to neutral. From here, we'll walk our hands out a little bit further out in front on the mat. Take the knees nice and wide, big toes come together. And we're just gonna sink back. I'm gonna keep my hips elevated for this variation of child's pose so I can really elongate out and up through that tailbone, stretching and lengthening, drawing the arms down toward the mat. Holding for 4. For 3, for 2, and for 1. We're going to walk our hands up, so we're in a kneeling position. Make sure you've got space on either side of you. We're going to inhale, lift the arms, and exhale, round them down and back, drawing large circles in the air, large exaggerated circles. Breathe out to circle. Grow nice and tall up through the crown of the head. Let's take 3 more, shrugging away any tension in those shoulders, opening through the chest and lengthening up through the top of the head. Last 1, amazing work. Now we're gonna get right into our workout. We're gonna come back into that all fours position. If you're using weights, I'd like you to take 1 to the outside of your left hand, 1 to the outside of your right hand so that they are accessible. We're going to set ourselves up with that great form to begin with. So the wrists are below the shoulders. We've got a gentle micro bend in those elbows. Knees are below the hips and the spine is in neutral. So we're not arching here. We're tucking the tailbone and elongating through that spine. Nice work. From here, I'm going to take a hold of my weight in my right hand. If you're not using a weight, you've got long fingers here. I'm going to extend the right arm out long, palm is facing in. From here, we're gonna lift and lower the weight or the hand. And as we do so, we want to really focus on being really stable across those shoulders. So we want our left and right shoulders to be even. Good, so we're not leading up with that right shoulder as we lift the right arm. Really focus on stability here. Plugging belly in toward the spine as we warm up and start working that right shoulder. Good. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Make sure you've got space out behind. We're going to add a leg extension on the left side. So I'd like you to stretch your left leg out long, point through the toe. And now we're going to lift the weight as we lift and lower the leg. Now, if at any point you start to lose stability, just extend the leg and hold like so rather than lifting. So lifting and lowering. Lift and lower. Ooh, my plant is in my way. Lift and lower, lift and lower. So again, if you're really losing stability here, just put that left knee back down and focus on those shoulders. Breathe out to lift. Nice work. We've got 4, 3, gaze stays down on the floor, 2, and final 1. Nicely done. Now if you're stable on that leg, keep it extended. We're now going to bring the weight in, and as we lift and lower the leg, we're going to bring the weight up. So elbow is bent, and I want you to really pull up with that elbow, contracting your upper back muscle on that right side as you do so. Again, keeping those shoulders nice and even, keeping the hips square with the mat. Belly plugged into spine here will really help with your stability. This is an incredible stabilizing exercise, working all of those deep stabilizing muscles. We've got 4, 3, really contract that upper back muscle as you lift that elbow. And last 1, great work. Now we're going to bring the knees under the hips again, and we're just going to focus on our tricep here. So I'm going to extend the weight out, long fingers if you're not holding a weight, and I'm going to lift and then tap the weight down to the mat. Lift and lower. So we're focusing on that right tricep now. Lifting and lower, you're working still into those upper back muscles at the same time. Keep the arms super straight here. And really flex the upper arm and the upper back at the top of every lift. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, you can do it. Last one, we're coming up and holding and pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Relax it down. Whew. Okay, sink back into a child's pose and give yourself a moment here to just regulate the breath, reset those shoulders, lengthen through the spine. Let's hold it here for 5, for 4. Keep breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And bring yourself up, back into your all fours position. I'm just going to move that weight out of the way. We're now going to take the weight, if you're using it, in your left hand. If not, you've got those long fingers. Palm is facing in. We're really supporting ourselves with this right side as well, so make sure you're not locking up that right elbow. From here, we're going to lift and lower. Lift and lower. And remember, your focus here is on scapula stability, so we want both shoulders level. We want the neck nice and long. Gaze is down on the floor, spine in neutral. 4 more like this. 3, 2, and 1. Great work. Now, if you have the stability to do so, I want you to extend your right leg out long. If not, keep it under your hip, that knee bent, perfectly fine. Lifting and lowering. Lifting and lowering. So this is a bit of a balance and stability challenge with that leg lifting at the same time. Good. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Trying not to twist or lean to alternating sides. We want to keep ourselves nice and stable across those shoulders, across those hips. We've got 3, 2, and 1. Whew, I'm already sweating. It's a lot harder with the weights, isn't it? Okay, so from here, I'm gonna keep that leg extended. I'm gonna bring my elbow up as I lift the leg. Good. Find your balance. Find your stability. Really pull that elbow up nice and high. using those upper back muscles to get that lift. Squeezing the glute as well if you're lifting and lowering the leg. Good work. Abs are in. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring the knee back under the hip. And now we're going to extend that arm out behind, lifting and then tapping it down. So if you're not holding the weight, you've got long fingers. You can still feel this work without the weight. If you're remembering to contract that upper arm and those upper back muscles at the top of every lift, working with your body's own resistance, it can still be quite a challenge and really effective. Good. We've got 6, 5, 4. Try not to lean over to that right side. 3, 2, and 1. Hold for those 10 pulses. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Relax it down. Take your hands out in front and sink back into a well-deserved child's pose. Stretch out those shoulders, lengthen that spine, and you can gently wave your hands from side to side if that feels comfortable. Just releasing any tension in the wrists. Stretching long through those fingertips for 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Great work. Okay, now we're going to bring ourselves up to a seated position, and we're going to start focusing some attention on our abs. But because we're holding onto the weights, we're also going to be working our arms. Again, if it ever gets too much with the weights and you're losing form or you're not able to contract your abs, I'd like you to set the weights down. Okay, so from here, we're just going to start off with a C curve. So I'm going to bring my palms in front, holding onto the weight. You've got long fingers. If not, shoulders are down away from the ears. Feet are planted into the floor, legs are hip distance apart. From here, we're going to inhale. And as we exhale, we're just going to curve the spine back into the shape of a C, keeping the heels in contact with the mat, and then bring it back up. So we're inhaling to lower, engage the abs. Exhale, pull belly to spine to lift. Inhale to lower, engage that core. Exhale to lift. Lower, round the spine, and then belly to spine to lift. Round, abdominal wall contracts to lift. Good work. 2 more. Lower a little bit further this time if you can, and then pull belly to spine. Nicely done. Last one, and lift. Lower your weights down. Give your shoulders a bit of a roll. Good. Now we're going to do the same thing again, but we're going to add some bicep curls. So we're going to bring the palms in toward the shoulders. Elbows are bent. You can make fists if you're not using weight. We're going to come back, straightening the arms into our C curve, and then bring the palms to the shoulders, keeping the upper arms at shoulder height, not letting them drop below shoulder height at all. So we're lowering, straightening the arms, and pulling the fists back toward the shoulders as we lift up and engage the core. So a few things to be thinking about here to get the most out of this exercise. Good. Lower and lift. Inhale, contract the abs, contract the biceps as you lift. We've got 5 and 4. Last 3. Abs are in. And 2. These are getting tough. And last 1. Amazing work. Okay. So now we're going to drop the weights off, give the shoulders a little bit of a roll, and stretch the legs out long. We're going to bring the weight together, or palms together, long fingers if no weight, and bring ourselves down, bringing the weight just overhead. Palms are facing in toward each other like this for this whole exercise if you're not holding on to the weights. Now from here, we're gonna lift up, lower, lift, lower, all the way down and back. So we're rolling up using those upper abs, straight arms, straight spine, lift, lower, lift, and roll it down. Good. Roll up, lower, lift, lower, lift, and all the way back down. Good. So use your upper abs on the way up. Good. And use your lower abs on the way down. Lower, lift. Good. Keep breathing. Good work. Last 2 sets. Good work. Last one. Working those arms, working that core, and relax it all the way down to the mat. Amazing work. Okay, from here, again, if it ever gets too much, we're losing those weights. But if you are holding on to the weight, we're gonna bring our legs into tabletop and bring the weights over the shoulders. If you're not using weights, you've got those long fingers again. From here, we're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to extend the weight on the left side down as we extend the left leg. Bring it back, and then right arm, right leg. As we do so, the opposite weight goes back. So you're scissoring your arms as you extend your legs. Now, as you extend one leg, the other leg stays in tabletop. Good. Not bringing the weight all the way down to the floor, but just hovering above the floor, really focusing on that core stability, pulling belly into the spine. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, belly to spine to exhale. Now, if you're feeling strong here and you want to pick it up, I'd like you to lift head, neck, and shoulders, resting head on top of shoulders to increase the level of challenge on those abs. If you can't do it or if it's straining your neck, no worries. You're still getting in a good workout with head, neck, and shoulders down on the mat. We've got 3, 2, I'm gonna lower mine down for the last couple sets, and 1. Amazing. Lower your feet down to the floor, lower your elbows, and from here, we're gonna get into some oblique work. So we're going to, if you're using it, bring both weights together overhead. If you're not using weights, you're gonna do prayer hands together like so with long fingers for this next one. So I'm going to extend the right leg out long, keep the left leg bent. Now you have 2 options here. You can either inhale and exhale, come in, crossing over with a bent knee, or come in, crossing over with a straight leg on that right side. Okay, I'm gonna go for straight leg, work with the level of challenge that's right for you. And we're just gonna cross over. And as we do so, we're lifting the left shoulder blade up off the floor, but we're keeping both hips even on the mat, and we're keeping the low back pressing into the mat. So you're really just rotating in the torso, rotating around the rib cage, so you can work into those obliques. Good. Exhale to cross over. Really challenge yourself by picking that left shoulder blade up off the floor for 3 and 2 and final 1. Nice work. Now coming over to that left side, bend your right knee. Either left knee comes in or left leg comes in, going straight. Good. Picking that right shoulder blade up off the floor now, plugging belly in, cinching in the waistline as we work deep into those obliques. As we breathe out, we're contracting the abdominal wall down toward the mat. Nice long arms. Pointed toe. Whether or not your leg's bent or your leg's straight, you want to be pointing that toe and engaging your leg muscles. We've got 4 and 3. Lift that shoulder up a little bit more for 2 and final 1. Great work. I'm going to place my weights off to the side just for a moment and just bring the knees in toward the chest. From here, I'm just going to rock from side to side, just taking a moment to regulate the breath, massaging the low back on the mat. For 3, that feels really nice, and 2, and 1. Okay, lower the feet down. We're gonna finish off with 2 exercises to really make sure we've targeted the core before the upper abs, before we move on to our lower body work. So you can either have your legs outstretched like so, or have a gentle bend in the legs. We're gonna bring the weights up. You've got long fingers if you're not holding on to them. We're gonna peel up and then lower. Peel up and then lower. Lift and lower. Lift toward those toes and lower. So as you lift, you're really contracting the abdominal wall down toward the mat, pressing your spine down to the floor as you lift the shoulder blades up. Good. Targeting those upper abs really deeply. Getting that definition. Nice work. I know they're tough, but we're nearly there. For 2. And last one. We're going to hold at the top and pulse up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Keep breathing. 2 and 1. Relax it down. Whew. We're going to roll over onto our stomachs. Hands on either side of the shoulders, legs hip distance apart, and peel up either onto your forearms, or if you have the flexibility to do so, come up onto your palms. Oh, my elbow always cracks every time I do that. Really nice long neck here. Shoulders are down away from our ears, enjoying the stretch for 3 and 2 and 1. Good. Now I'm going to bring these weights over to the side of my mat so that they are handy. And we're going to roll over onto the side body, propping the head up on the hand or resting it on outstretched arms. We're stacking the hips, the ankles, and the knees. We're placing the hand down on the mat, picking the feet up and hinging from the hip. Now I'm going to bend my lower leg, keeping my hips stacked, and I'm going to take a weight. You can either put 2 weights on your thigh like so if you've got some light ones, or no weight at all. I'm going to try with 2, and I'll lose one if I need to. Okay, so from here, we're going to just start with some leg lifts. So we're just lifting and lowering, lifting and lowering. Good, and as we lift and lower, we're keeping the leg perfectly straight. We're keeping the hips stacked, one on top of the other, and I'm pointing through the toe so that all the muscles in the leg are engaged. Good, just getting into the movement, mobilizing the hips. I can already feel the work in those glutes and thighs. Good, we've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'd like you to hold it here. Then I want you to tap the foot forward and tap the foot back. Tap forward, tap back. So drawing a rainbow-like shape in the air with that top leg, with that top big toe. Good, keeping the shoulders relaxed. And remember, if the weights on your thigh are too much, then get rid of them. Focus on the stability and building well-balanced strength with good form. Connecting with those muscles that we're working, the thighs, the gluteus medius, the stabilizing muscles in the hips. Good. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'd like you to drop your weights off to the side, and then we're going to switch positions. From here, I'm going to lower my right forearm down to the floor, and I was just working my left leg, so my left leg is extending out on a diagonal, and from here, we're just tapping and lowering, no weight. Tapping and lowering on a diagonal. Good. Breathe through it. Belly to spine, shoulders rolled down away from your ears. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Bring yourself into an all fours position. Square your hips with the mat. And now we're going to tap up and over to opposite sides of the mat. Similar movement that we were doing in our side lying position, but now we're targeting our gluteus maximus muscle. Drawing that rainbow shape in the air out behind you. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold in the middle of that rainbow and pulse it up. Little controlled pulses to finish off on this side. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7. Lift the leg a bit higher. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax it down. Amazing. Take the knees nice and wide. Sink back into your child's pose. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Walk yourself up, and let's do the other side. So take hold of your weights. If you're using them, bring them to the top of your mat. Get nice and long and comfortable on your side body. Stacking your hips, knees, and ankles. Lift those legs up, coming into a pike. Bend the lower leg for extra stability. Place your weights on your outer thigh. Now we're going to lift and lower. Lift and lower. Good work. Plugging navel in. Keeping the shoulders down away from your ears. Good. Keep it up. We're nearly done. Just a few exercises on this right side, and then we can stretch and get on with our day. So make it count. Really lift and lower with control. Keep your torso still and stable here. We've got 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now we're going into those rainbow arcs. So we're bringing the leg forward and backward. I'm tapping it to either side of that bent leg. Good. Trying to keep the shoulders relaxed here. And again, focusing on torso stability. So not rocking around in the upper body. And if that means you need to slow this movement right down or take a smaller range of movement, so drawing smaller arcs like this, that's perfectly fine. Building up strength at your own level. Breathing through it. I know these are tough. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great work. Lower those off to the side. We don't need them anymore. Come on to all fours. Drop your left forearm. Extend your right leg out long and lift and lower. Continuing to work that side booty. Point through the toe so you're working all the muscles in your leg. Abs are engaged. Only lifting your leg as high as you can without taxing your lower back. Good. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Getting into your all fours position. Now squaring those hips, squaring those shoulders with the mat. Extending the leg, coming out to one side, and lifting up and over. Good. Squeeze squeeze your bum at the top of every lift. Nice long neck. Slow it down if you need to. We've got 3, 2, and 1. I'd like you to pause in the middle of that rainbow shape and pulse. So hips are square with the mat. Abs are engaged to protect the low back. Pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax it down. Amazing work. Now we're going to get into position to stretch. We're going to bring the feet together, sitting up nice and tall, inhaling here, and exhaling, just fold over, letting those knees splay out to the side, stretching into those hips and inner thighs. Breathing deeply, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Sitting up nice and tall again, bringing one foot in toward the opposite inner thigh, folding and stretching in the side body. Holding for 5, for 4, for 3, stretching that hamstring, stretching the side body, and elevating back up. Switching sides. Keeping the hips even on the mat, trying not to lift up with that one hip. Holding for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Bring it back to center, cross your legs, lift your shoulders up by your ears, and exhale, roll them down and back. 2 more, shrugging away any tension in the shoulders, and opening through the chest. Amazing work. I hope you enjoyed that weighted live workout. Let me know what you thought about adding the small set of hand weights if you used them in the comments below. I look forward to hearing what you thought. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, and I will see you next time.